this whole thing with Mike now is very interesting. I'm online. I haven't seen the movie yet. I haven't seen the movie Michael yet. I'm hearing that it has a lot of success. I need to get to the movie theaters and watch the movie. Um, but my thing is to the young people that are shown that are seeing Mike for the first time, or they become fans of Mike. You know, uh, in the past few years or whatever. That these fans that weren't alive to see Mike, because now it's crazy. It's been 17 years since Mike passed. So there's whole human beings out here that are big fans of Mike that never were around to be to to live when he was alive. They were never around. Everything that they're getting of him is posthumously. And I want them to understand, like, yo, look, this guy really was famous like that. It was not. This is not like one of these things that we're just exaggerating and just hyping it up to just make it seem hype, like, or people just dick eating him or whatever. Like, no, he was really, really famous. One of the most. No, you could say he's the most famous man. But you take out dictators or political leaders or religious figures. If you take out those people, you can say this man is the most famous man who ever walked the earth. You know, hands down. He was really famous like that, and his music was everywhere in the '80s and '90s. But he took a hit in in the 2000s. The media was on his ass. That's the part they don't really tell you about. Now everybody's a big fan now, and everybody Mike this, Mike that. Y'all don't know about Mike. A lot of y'all was shitting on Mike that was around back then. Because that was my introduction to Mike back in the 2000s. As a kid, I was seeing the trial, seeing the media dog him out. I'm seeing them, you know, already claim that he's guilty and he's done it. And everybody was going, comedians were going in on him. The only comedian who wasn't going in on him was what's his name, Eddie Griffin. He was openly, cool with Mike. But like everybody else, oh yeah, they had it in for him. Everybody was swearing he was guilty this time. They was, you know, making jokes about him in Scary Movie. They was doing all this stuff, and I didn't like that back then. You know, I'm like, damn, y'all really going overboard and doing the most. If it says he's not guilty, motherfucker, he's not guilty. Why are y'all doing the most? Why are y'all so bitter? And the mainstream media, they like that. Whenever you know, whenever a black celebrity seems to get away from what they feel is this, they're supposed to, get punished for, they get butthurt, and then they start dragging it, and they just keep assaulting the character of this, you know, celebrity, this public figure. They love dragging black male public figures, you know, and and with Mike, it was just nonstop. He probably got the worst of this. Like, definitely, I'd say worse. OJ's after him. Like, but he's like, yeah, he probably got the worst of the media. Like, they were just constantly after him. The whole, even in the '90s, they were after him. But like, yeah, the 2000s, they was really after him. They were saying he was broke. Saying kids wasn't his. Uh, Nose fell off. Saying they were saying, like they're saying all types of stuff. The tabloids was not his friends at all. They were like some hungry wolves they're trying to find the body and tear the flesh off. I mean, they was after him. He was fiending to be after him. And like I said, a lot of people was not on his side. That's you know capping right now. which tells growing up, as just getting older, you just see like you get to see patterns. You get to see how people really are, and and that's why I see why a lot of famous people don't really even care. When they get to a certain level, because you see it all. You see how fake other famous people are. You see how fake regular people are. You don't really see people being genuine a lot. You wonder if people really like you for you, or people going to throw your dirt out there just so they can get some attention. You see all types of corny stuff. People exhibiting all types of goofy behavior just to get attention. It's like, is it even worth it to be in this position? Well, yeah, you got the money and all this and all that. It's like, why be in a position where you have people that's trying to badmouth you or blackmail you or do you dirty? And you could work all your life for this moment, and then people try to tear you down. And that's what I saw. Lesser people who weren't funny or doing bad, trying to make little jokes and take little shots at Mike to feel better about themselves. That's what I was seeing. There's a lot of that in the 2000s with Mike. There's a lot of celebrities that's acting all cool now that was talking shit about Mike back in the day. And all I'll say is y'all is some suckers. Y'all don't stand for nothing. Y'all change your mind on a dime. Some of y'all got allegations yourselves now. It's just a whole lot of fuckery. But like I said, for the younger people, you gotta understand. Uh, yeah, he was not in a good light back in the day, and he didn't really die. I mean, before he died, he wasn't in a good. He wasn't in a good light, but he was trying to work his way. Come out with some good music and or come out with another album and get back in the game. What I'm saying? Like, 'cause I don't think he had made anything for a minute, and he was trying to get back and uh, you know, produce some new music. Evolve his sound, and got taken out by his incompetent doctor. That's what happened. That's what happened. And then after that, then now everybody's the Prince of Pop. Oh, now everybody wanted to shout him out and moonwalk everywhere, and it was crazy when he died. Like if you weren't around 2009, that summer, man, the whole summer went crazy because he died. Because he passed that summer. Like everybody's like you had to be there. People were out there moonwalking everywhere, and his music was playing everywhere. They was having. I remember I was listening to TV Guide, and they was talking about him. Then they were shitting on him before, and then when he passes, now they're out here, oh my gosh, everybody's doing all these memorials about Mike passing and how they couldn't believe it, and his music was so tremendous and touched everyone, and da 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 da. Everybody's doing all that. I'm like, wow, y'all are so fake, so fake. But that's how it is out here. That's why you gotta watch yourself and watch your company. That's why understand why certain celebrities keep the circle small, and they try to be mysterious because you don't want every goofball, or black, scumbag around you like that. Young people got to realize, certain celebrities might be seen a certain way, but things can get a whole, turn a 180 before your eyes. The way things seem now will not be the way that things will be uh, 20, 30 years from now. It's going to be completely different. Some of the celebrities that you swear are the biggest thing are going to be forgotten. It's like, who is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, time, you never know what's going to happen with time. Time is the equalizer. Who really is, who's really famous when time doesn't affect them, and that's what Michael Jackson is. That timeless celebrity, like I'm seeing online people saying that, oh, Mike is gonna be this. He's gonna have fans that aren't even born right now, and that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna be famous. You know, it's gonna be people writing about him 100 years from now, 200 years from now. As long as everything doesn't burn up and we don't lose records and lose the internet or some shit, like there's gonna be people moonwalking 200 years from now, 1,000 years from now. As long as the world doesn't burn up either, Mike will be on top. It'll be hard. You gotta be, you gotta be really, really good, really, 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 really good to the throne, Mike. So yeah, that's just all I got. Just realize the reality of what just go look up old interviews of Mike or old interviews about celebrities that talked about Michael Jackson in the early 2000s, even in the 90s too. Go look up Mad TV, and how they talked about Mike. Go look up Scary Movie. Go look up, Family Guy. All these different cartoons and everything, and they all painted him out to be a terrible guy. They're just demonizing him all the time, and he was fighting for his innocence constantly, trying to show he wasn't this type of guy. That's what the media does. They got their target. They're biting down. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. If y'all feel the same way, let me know. I'm out.